Welcome back to the EU Gears Pro League. My name is Tony, and we are here for the marquee matchup, if you like, between Rated R and Oxygen Esports. It should be an absolute cracker, the two top teams in the league right now. And once again, I'm joined by Alex Fruin, and we're excited to get back into this one. It has to be said, this game was obviously one of the ones that we did miss. Yep. It was a close one last time around, wasn't it? And we're going to jump into how that match did go. Of course, I said we didn't broadcast this one, so we didn't see it. But based on the numbers that we can see on our screens, it was an absolute cracker through.
Yeah, it really was. A lot of players were talking about this one afterwards, on the socials as well. A 5-3 opening map for Rated R, a 5-4 turnaround there for Oxygen on the second, and then we went to Icebound and it was 5-3 once again. And actually, I was just looking at the stats on the EGO website for that Icebound game, and it looked like Ashen stood on his head to make it that close. So it really looked to be a very, very good series. And I think for all the fans, it would be a really nice treat, to get that again here, to have another really close top of the table bash and see these two teams just duke it out once more. Some fantastic scorelines as well. Looking at Ashen's with 3 KDA overall, that is just phenomenal, to be honest with you. A really, really strong performance from him, averaging 31 eliminations. And we'll talk about this some more later, but
highest deaths, lowest deaths, highest very kills. Good player. Yeah, I mean, yep. He's played. I mean, look, when he was on that Obey team, we always said that he's consistently up there, isn't he? And he's just been. I mean, he's a peacock. You gotta let him fly, and that's what Oxygen are doing right now. I mean, they're just letting him go, and every single week he impresses me. The only annoyance is that he's changed his game attack to Eddie, and I have to keep calling him that for the sake of the broadcast. But that's my only complaint so far, because every other facet of Ashen's gameplay has been phenomenal for this team.
Yep.
Rated R, I said, we know what they can bring. They're top of the leaderboard right now, currently undefeated, and that we want to continue that. Let's be honest, they're very much. I would say they're definitely still the favorites in this one, even though obviously Oxygen beat Elevate 2-0 last week. I'd still favor Rated R in this matchup. But it's not going to be an easy one. This is probably going to be their most difficult game, but we'll touch on Rated R again. But what else do you think it is about Oxygen? The changes ring through. Obviously, last season it was Rigo Reserve. They had Physics and Jack Reaction in there. I think we both sort of criticized these changes, didn't we, to an extent? We sort of understood, but it was like, they seemed to be getting there. When they were Rigo Reserve, things were slowly getting better. But the changes come through. We weren't too sure on them, but they really have paid off.
Yeah, I mean, they have. We talked about Ashen's, but skills, he's up there on the leaderboard as well. He's sitting in top 6 in the kind of score, the KDA categories. Like, he's a very, very well-rounded player. And to say he's a young player as well, he's still got that kind of reaction time. He's still got that kind of energy that you like as an older player like myself. You like to have in your team around you, because it's just a morale booster as well. So I'm hoping that the energy in the Oxygen camp is a little bit fresher. And these young gun talents and Ashen's and skills are also able to just kind of elevate their game a little bit. And no pun intended, that's why I think they were able to come and, give a really good game against Elevate last week. And we'll be looking to do the same against Rated R. They built their roster around having a similar dynamic to Rated R. So it makes sense that it's kind of working that way.
They have been playing very, very well. And are they going to be able to match Rated R in that slaying game? They really have been a fantastic squad all through the whole Pro League of Rated R, and consistently there with Elevate. But Rated R, very much, as I said, I feel as if they would be favorites in this game, even after seeing Oxygen's dismantling of Elevate last week. I still favor Rated R. I still think that they are the better team. But let's see if they can do it here. As I said, it was a close one between these two last time round, and it was a player like Dragons, player like Pains, who are going to be the issue for Oxygen. Can they keep up in the playstyle that they want to against the guys who, I don't want to say invented the playstyle, but really have been the ones that have been carrying the flag of fly at people in Europe, haven't they, Rated R?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And let's get this straight. The two players that you just called out, Pains and Dragons, they are number 1 and number 2 in that kill total leaderboard. They're also number 1 and 2 in the kill average leaderboard as well, with almost 300 kills between them after 3 weeks. They are definitely performing. And that's kills, by the way, not eliminations. That is pure kills. So, yes, they are two of the best slayers on the planet right now, and they invented it. They are absolutely the most aggressive players in the league right now. And for Oxygen to come back and match them, they have to put out something special. It's not going to be an easy walk, even despite that close 2-1 game we saw last time. They really do have their work cut out for them.
Well, let's see how this one is going to go down. I do believe we have the picks and bans ready to go. And I think Rated R are going to have their work cut out for them here. It's going to be a close one.
Yep.
I'd be very, very surprised. I think it'll probably go all the way to 3 maps. Or it's going to at least be very, very close first two. District gone. No surprise to see that out of Oxygen. That's a 50% ban rate from them. And we know that Rated R are very, very solid on that map. Training Grounds then going into necessary ban for Rated R at all times. Bunker coming in for Rated R and Exhibit coming in for Oxygen. Exhibit is a bold one, I think. But I've seen Oxygen look very good on it as well.
Yeah, it's real strange because I'm looking at these picks and bans here versus the ones that I've got on the kind of stats site here, and actually the picks here coming in from Oxygen, they're the same as last time. They picked Exhibit last time, even though they lost it. They've banned out that Vaskar map, which is the map that they won last time around, and even though it was Rated R's pick last time around, still very strange to see them ban it. And then they've gone to the same deciding map that they lost last time. So a very interesting strategy, but I guess they're thinking it was close last time. We'll try and get Rated R in a bit of a different cycle than what they are, but I'm guessing they probably thought Rated R were going to pick that Vaskar map first, which is why it didn't come through in that first series of bans.
Potentially, but you're right. They lost Exhibit last time around at Oxygen 5-3 to Rated R, and they picked it again.
Yeah.
And Rated R notoriously always been very, very good on that map. So I think that is a strange pick. But Bunker we didn't see. I'm trying to think one of these teams have played Bunker once more. I mean, Oxygen banned Bunker out last time around, second time of asking their second ban to then pick Icebound, which is what we're going to see there again. So they're not too bad. They're happy to play Icebound again. That's fine. But the fact that we've seen Exhibit come through again is the query for me. And I just hope it doesn't make them trip up here. Of course, Bunker is one that I'm curious to see between these two. But I do think that Exhibit pick is maybe an oversight. But, they must have confidence in themselves. I say last time around 5-3, so it was a close-ish game. Maybe they think they can overturn. If they get that one round difference, suddenly it's 4-4. It's 5-3, 4-4 is obviously a very different scoreline, but it's a very close scoreline. It's a one-round difference. So they just get one more round in there. Suddenly it's a very, very close game. And maybe that's what they're banking on.
Yeah, maybe so. They're just putting, all their eggs in that basket, right? And just saying, well, it was close.
Yeah.
I was looking at maybe, was it a case that they played these maps against Elevate last week and thought they were good on them? No, they didn't play these maps there either. They played Icebound for sure, but they didn't play Exhibit. They didn't play Bunker. So, that's where that Training Grounds ban has come from Rated R, actually, is that they've banned that one because they've seen how good Oxygen performed last week on it. But apart from that, it's just a very, very... I'd say strange series of picks and bans here if you're an Oxygen fan, but I guess it's a very, very close series against the top team in Europe.
Yeah,
you want to repeat it, and as you said, try and go for those 4-4s.
Yeah, that's one of those. And we didn't see these games last time around, so they could have been super close rounds where it's going to come down to the wire. So maybe Oxygen just have that confidence in their Exhibit game. But let's talk about the players that we are looking at specifically in this game to cause the damage for each team. And this time around, we picked Ashens for Oxygen and Dragons for Rated R. And good reason for it. I mean, Ashens with an overall KD of 3.84. A phenomenal start to his career in Oxygen, hasn't it been?
It's been fantastic. He's found new legs, quite honestly, since he left Obey, and has been performing at the top level in this European Pro League. These are stats that we were praising Crimsons for kind of week in, week out in their winter and spring quarters. And to see Ashens putting them up against those teams, against those caliber teams, that is even more impressive, right? When you're on one of those top two teams, it's very, very easy to put up those numbers. Ashens, he's leading the way. He has put his team on his back. Cougars beside him. And quite honestly, has just looked really, really impressive. And actually, his numbers in the previous game here against Rated R were even higher than this. He had a 4.5 KDA on Vaskar alone. So, that's a really impressive stat line. Dragons, on the other hand, he's above average in every single category. He's looking real good, as always. He's a solid standout player. And actually, last time they played as well, he was always in that kind of top 2-3 spot for his team and just led the way, as he always does. He gets those kills. He's a very, very influential player, and he can lead a team to victory. These are why these two players, are the head-to-head today.
Yeah, and he's just been so good, Ashens. Dragons, obviously a consistent man up in there. We know how good Dragons is. we knew how good Ashens was, but he surprised me at how good he's been in this team as well. But if you do want to check out the stats, you can go to egl.tv /gears-pro-league if you want to check them all out. Of course, we've got an abundance in there. You can check out the leaderboards of where everybody's at in terms of every single stat you could possibly imagine. But the one thing for Ashens for me with that KDA leaderboard, and as I said, I don't like to touch on it too much, but he is above and beyond number one, by the way. Like, I mean, he is some distance away. A 3.84, second place is a 2.66, and that slays it actually outrated. It was somebody who maybe goes under the radar for the team a little bit, but above and beyond. He's doing a lot for Oxygen right now, which is my only slight concern. Yes, okay, Oxygen have been there. Zorkos and Cougars have been playing well as well, but I feel as if Ashens has an off week, that could be a detriment to him. It could be a big detriment to him. I'm not saying he's carrying, but he's having a very, very good time of things. And if he has a bad week, maybe that's going to hurt.
Yeah,
I'm playing devil's advocate, maybe, but
I think it's worth pointing out. I think the team are kind of set up though to funnel him those kills, funnel him, those opportunities, and really kind of give him the tools he needs to put up those numbers week after week. You see it in kind of MOBAs where you'll funnel all of your resources into one carry, and at this moment, Ashens, he is that carry. He's getting those weapons. He's getting those spots where he can shine, and he's got his teammates firing for him. So I think it's a worry for sure, but there are players that can pick up the slack if Ashens is not performing. In that top kind of category, you've got a lot of other members. Zorkos is up there. Cougars is up there. Skills is up there. They're all up there. Fracture's even in the KDA side of things. He's top 10. He's 11, so just outside the top 10. So they're all doing really well. It's just Ashens really is putting up the numbers.
It really is. And right now, if you can continue to do so, they're going to be a problem for Rated R here. The only team to have played this map out of these two is Rated R, and they lost it. So we will be heading over to Bunker with question marks around this matchup and which way this one's going to go. But it should be a very, very good game. The current top two teams in Europe going up against it once again. Last time round, it was a 2-1 victory for Rated R in close circumstances, and I hope we see something similar. Oxygen against Rated R. Here we go. Into it first and foremost with Pains. Just one of the most cracked out guys on the scene. We love to see how aggressive he can get. It's good shots into Cougars, and it looks like Oxygen are going to be pinning back just a little bit after this first initial. Cougars and Fractures will go down.
They will indeed. Rated R, they are looking like the team to be the victors over here at the B Hill for now, and this is when the teams will start to kind of rotate around, try and find a little bit of control on this map, kind of being that mid route up top on the top bunker side of things offers a lot of control. You can shoot down into the top side of those bunkers, down on the artillery side of things, and you've also got full control over those home hills as well. So I expect the teams to kind of rotate that way, and actually we can see that now as Eddie, formerly the Game Attack Ashens, is going to be that first member in here from Oxygen, just establishing a little bit of a forward position here.
Setting themselves up for the overextension. But the thing is with this bunker position, you can go in two different directions, can't you? You go straight underneath like this, like they have done. Have they baited Rated R into it, though? They do have one member back there, number 9, so that is actually going to be Dragons now coming back off his team's respawn side of the map. Slayson has to back on down, and it has worked. Is that Oxygen? Decap B. Get a hold of B as well, but can they hold the second wave of kills? Yeah, Fracture's going to go down, as is Skills. This is good gunfight wins for Rated R. Ashid's now in a bit of a tough spot. He hasn't really been able to influence the game, but nobody here at it. He's made the right move, and he's going to be able to not get through. He may get the decap while downed. His job is somewhat done, but he would have liked to survive that, and he not surviving that is maybe going to be leading to the round going towards Rated R. It is, and there you go. Round number 1 to Rated R.
I was thinking to myself a little bit there, why isn't he just, holding up a second, just, giving himself that, little bit of time he can just heal up and then go fight that. But his team, they're not spawning up, and for good reason, really. There was a really nice setup there from Rated R. They had full control of the map, and actually, you'd kind of just be putting yourself in a bad situation for later rounds in the half if they'd have respawned there. So choosing to give that round up, saying, this one they've beat us on, we'll move to the next one, was actually the correct choice. Didn't really matter in the end that Ashens went down. Smoke grenade's going to get placed, and this is just a tool to be upgraded later on. We'll see those incendiaries probably come through. This time around, though, it's just going to be those smokes, causing a little bit of vision trouble down by the B hill.
Back into it then. It was Rated R with the initial win, which is what set them up to win the round. Here come the smokes. Zorkos putting shots in. We'll have to back on down as Marsh now gains a little bit of positional advantage up top. He is going to go down after finding the kill. And the Fractious Cougars lying in wait as the rest of his team unfortunately have dropped. He's now all alone. Is anybody here to help him out? It doesn't seem so. Cougars, not long for this world. He will go down. Another really nice break out of Rated R. Skills and Co have to back on down. Skills already weak. Should be taken down as well. Now Ashens, we've talked about how good he's been for this team. Needs to catch up. Has Fractures in tow here as well, but here come the flashes. They're going to be pushed. And Rated R keep on getting aggressive. The decap has come in. Rated R will be happy with that. Currently Oxygen getting nothing on the board and have been pinned in. Fractures is the only one to answer back, but he goes down. Zorkos goes down. Zorkos is dead. Fractures now back up, but here come the rest of Rated R. Eddie is now dead as well. And this has been so clinical from the Rated R squad, but Fractures start to turn things on. Finds 3, and he will keep his team in this round. That's a big play out of Fractures, and maybe that is the spark to ignite the fire here for Oxygen, who have not really been at the races so far.
That was a huge, huge play, actually, from Fractures. I mean, if you're looking for ones for your highlight reels, Chris, there's one already. There's another one as well, as a lovely headshot comes through on Marsh, and Fractures. 6 kills to his name. 4 of them in this last play. Is looking to try and get a little bit more. See him just peeking around the left side. That's just to avoid a little bit of damage now, as now he sees Pains in his sight. Skills to his right-hand side has found that kill. Strikers falls. Pains will die as well, and this is actually really good now for Oxygen. They're starting to put the pressure on him. A bit of Lancer fire here from Fractures might go to the good. Slazen will fall. Skills might go down on the other side of things, which isn't fantastic, but still, advantage Oxygen as the push on the Sea Hill commences.
This is really nicely done, and it's all off the back of Fractures finding those 3 kills. Oxygen have that in their locker. Fractures has that in his locker. I want to say he's been maybe inconsistent in Gears 5. I think that's fair to say. But when he does turn it on, good God. Moments like that is what makes him a hot property. And what makes him a mainstay in this Oxygen squad. He may not necessarily put up huge numbers every single game, but every now and then he does crazy stuff like that, and that's why Oxygen are currently in this round and currently with the win condition. But here come the kills that they need to find. Skills is going to find Pains. These next couple are so important. It's basically going to decide the round. It's ringing around the rosy in the middle here, though. The kills just about going towards Rated R. As 4 members of Oxygen do go down. Zorkos is the only one to answer, but he's on a good spot to extend here. I tell you what, there's nobody here for Rated R. There's nobody here at all.
Yep.
They need to do something. They're currently. He's gonna get it in there as well. If he can hold on there for a little while, Slazen and Co have to push. They need to find this kill. And the Zorkos, it's a good shot. Oh, he's gonna find the kill, and the kills on the other side of things are locked in as well for Oxygen. It's a round of clutches for Oxygen to finally get them on the board. But that's so well played. Individual players across the board coming out for Oxygen is what finds them the round.
Really, really nice plays. I was about to praise Dragons, actually, for making a very similar play to that of Fracture's play earlier in the round, getting that 3-piece. But in the end, the big play of that round is purely Zorkos winning that 1v1 up top. We said earlier, right, when Ashens, or Eddie, as he's now known, is not performing to his best in a round, he needs his teammates to kind of clutch up around him. And we said that, you know, these teammates, they can do that. Every single one of them has that potential to pop off a little bit, to find that crucial kill in a round, to make that correct play. Zorkos has just done that perfectly, well-timed and well-presented.
This is the man that really kept them in the round. I think if Fractures doesn't make those 3 big kills at the beginning of the comeback, there is no comeback. Rated R should be 2-0 up, and they will be kicking themselves for that now. I wonder, does that give Oxygen that little bit of momentum that they need? Eddie just about gets away. They currently have B, they currently have C. That's the first time they've won these initials, and looking to set up here, Oxygen.
Yeah, they're trying. They're going to get pressured here by Rated R pretty heavily. Rated R, they're not a team that sits up top for long. They like to push across here, down through this middle dip, and they will really put the squeeze on you. They're very, very comfortable in this bunker fight. That's why they've actually pushed Oxygen right on back. You can see they're just sat on the lip of the bunker, peppering away. But as they're doing so, they've lost full control. Rated R, down at the bottom side of things, will get control of that B hill. And Dragons now looking for another kill. Skills gets back aid. Skills gets killed. And that's lovely play there from Dragons, who they've now got full control over this opposition bunker. Should be in a really good spot here just to hold this one.
Yep. Going to be difficult here for Oxygen, who are sitting back and waiting to find a gap in the armor, a chink in the armor, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, luckily they've got 30 seconds or so to play within. Right now, they're just trying to work out, formulate a play. Where's the best play? Do we go up top? Do we go down bottom? Do we bait? You know, do we just aggro push? And actually, it seems like it's going to be a really aggressive push straight across no man's land. That will result in a couple of downs, but it's going to be 5 up top. And as they do this, I kind of expect one of Rated R to start to move up and take control of this core area down in the bottom. Kills are coming through, though. Eddie finds one. Fracture's pushing across. And it looks like a very solid push here from Oxygen. As now the A hill completely under contention. Might go their way as well.
Oh, big gunfight. Eddie is going to be the one to find Slayers in. Dragon's coming in with those incense, though. There's something to keep an eye on, but the overextension works out for Oxygen. They take their time and they brute force their way over the top middle of the map. Oh, Fractures dodging. Dragon's not finding anything with those incense, and he's a bit of a bad spot here, but if anyone's going to get themselves out of it, it will be Dragons. Fractures, though, the hero of the last round for Oxygen, is going to find the kill, and the Dragons also. This round has been flipped on its head. Strikers and Co need to push for their home hill here, but they're going to be lanced down. Strikers is down, Slazen is there to pick him up, but Slazen goes down for his efforts. Strikers now in a horrible spot. Skills cleaning up shop. A and C in the hands of Oxygen will be enough to do it for them. Cougars and Co, though, could be doing with keeping a hold of their home hill. Marsh takes an 8 to the face, and that is going to be another round for Oxygen, is it? It's looking that way. They've kept a hold of C. They're now pushing for B. They're on A as well. This is a domination going to be ticking through here in a second. And Oxygen run away with the round. So well played. Rated R was set up fantastically, but Oxygen comes screaming out, swinging. 2-1 now. Very nice round.
Very nice indeed. Fractures 11 kills already, 3 rounds in. And Cindery's down. Question is, what are the teams now going to go towards? Are they going to half those timers, or are they going to start building up that windmill, that radar side of things? Or are we going to see some of those loadouts come out? Looks like utility are going to be the name of the game there for the Oxygen side. Rated R. Going to half those incendiaries as kind of predicted. Always good to have those incendiaries up, especially on such a low respawn time as 60 seconds is a really quick respawn. It's basically one fight, back off spawn, you're picking them up again.
And Rated R lost this initial last time round as we head into the last round of the half. Can they get a hold of this round a little bit more? They need to take this game by the scruff of its neck. It seems as if they have had opportunity. Rated R could very well be 3-0 up here. I think that's the thing. You think back to the first round that Oxygen won when it was down to Fractures, and then they just clutched it where they needed to. That previous round, they had them locked in their spawn. Couldn't get away with it. Rated R just need to clutch up a little bit more, just hold their gunfights and manage to get them won. Right now, they are technically with the win condition as they have a slight tick over Oxygen, but I doubt that'll last very long. Fractures is going to go down. Now Rated R may be able to move, but Oxygen are the ones in control of B. It seems as if there's a few more members here. I say that only momentarily. His skills goes down. Good shots by Dragons and a well-executed break coming out of Rated R.
Just shows you how quick, really, Gears 5 can kind of turn from that 5v5 stalemate into a 5v2 situation there. Eddie's going to go back once again down to that respawn side of things. Slazen is able to get the kill on Cougars. He will indeed. Not going to meat shield that. Just going to roll back up towards his teammates. He'll be ready for that pickup. Will go down again, but back on his feet. Third time unlucky as now this rotation comes through, and they're going to set up over here at the B side of things. They don't want anyone sneaking in behind them. They realize they got caught a little bit out of setup there, but in the end it didn't really matter too much. Rated R in the driving seat in this one. 50 points ahead now. Will also win in just over 50 seconds themselves. They want to put on a good defense here, Chris, I think. Really get this back to 2-2 at the half. They're expecting a close game after last side, but going 3-1 down at the half would definitely be anything but close, in my opinion.
See what Eddie can do. He's had a bit of a quiet game so far, and he is pinned in. It's a good insend out of Marsh. Nothing really you can do if you're Oxygen, if you're in that spot. Fracture's going to go down as well. Cougars on 0 respawns is going to have to drop back and try to overextend. He's just trying to play on an island here as Cougars, and oh my word, look at the whole of Rated R converging on him. I can't imagine he's going to be alive for very much longer as Strikers finds that kill. He's now out. It's a 4v5 for Oxygen to try and do their 80 points or so behind. Skills also on 0 respawns. This should and will be tied up at the half, barring a miracle out of Oxygen, but the domination is ticking on through. Fractures now. Maybe just wants to try and pad some stats if he can, as this round is pretty much over. 2-2 as we head into the half. I think it's a fair scoreline. It has to be said. Rated R will be probably a little bit disappointed not to have a lead going into the second half, but Oxygen will be happy with how they played to find themselves in this spot.
Yeah, definitely so. I'd like to take a quick look at the scoreboard after we've kind of seen these loadout options. I mean, look at this right now. Fractures really is backpacking, isn't he? 11 and 5. His teammates, Cougars and Zorkos, they're not even past 1,000 points just yet. They really need to step it up a little bit. On the other side of things, what we're going to see, loadout option is going to go down on the rated R side of things. A second set of utilities coming out for Oxygen. That's interesting that they didn't choose to upgrade that incendiary grenade. I would have thought they might have tried to even the score out there at the half and gone into the half with even weapon settings, but nope, they're going to go for that extra utility. I suppose in the opening fight, they now have the advantage, but longer term, rated R should.
Here we go. Cougar's the first one to go down as it's an absolute massacre down low. Fractures finds 2, is going to be dropped himself. This gunfight just about goes in the favor of rated R, but still there is men here. Zorkos finds it down. Can he continue this fight for Oxygen? Oh, he's going to roll in. Strikers just mows him down with the Lancer. Nicely done. He will go over towards rated R, who really have been in control for the majority on these breaks. On the initials, it has mostly been in their favor. But do they know Cougars is down low? Rated R not overcommitting, playing the secret man if you like here, Cougars. Doesn't want to give his position away because he knows it's such a strong one. His back is covered. And he's going to be the man to try and break E back into the favor of Oxygen. Here he goes. Flashes goes out. Pains has to leave. Now the rest of the team will fall on through as well. Eddie will find one, but that's it. Oxygen do get the break that they needed, but Fractures has been down in the process. Here comes the pushback from Rated R. Can they find anything? No, they cannot. Eddie combining well. Yeah, with Cougars, Eddie finds another. Nicely done. Skills is the only one to go down from Oxygen, and they will find the break that they needed.
They will indeed. The push from Cougars really does make sense. Just drawing attention away from that E-hill for just a second. No points being captured from Rated R, and actually Cougars now making the decision to come up behind Strikers. Should be able to get this kill. If Strikers isn't aware, this should be a free kill if I've ever seen one. Will go down. Pains, though, is chasing Cougars. Teammates really need to back him up a little bit here and try and help out. Good play by Oxygen, though. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. This is a really, really nice kind of set of trade, just trying to claw back points as quick as possible, and in doing so, they find themselves pretty much even here. Good Lantern Fire coming down as Rated R try and push across that artillery side. Rotations have to come through now from Oxygen to match this, but they've got to be careful not to leave that middle route open because the E-hill, there's nobody there defending it. And this is a really easy retake for Rated R if they're not careful.
Yeah, don't overcommit to the rotation. Here come Rated R. Cougars now going to have to flank round and just is going to have to give it up momentarily. These gunfights are so important. What the hell is he shooting at Strikers there? Christ. His shotgun's doing bits. Cougars finds another. The rest of the team are here to hold on to E. They've held on to F as well. A couple of kills going in their favor. Oxygen looking good here for round number 3. They haven't been able to secure it so far, but they do have the numbers. Cougars now overextending over towards D. The fights are being won at E as well. Oxygen looking to take a lead here.
Yep. Yeah. Rated R happy to give this one up. They realize this round is all but done. They were not going to get back across to that home hill in time. They don't spawn in. They saved their lives. They're going to fight another day, but they are going to find themselves down 3-2 at this point in time.
Here we go then. We were wondering what bunker would serve up between these two, due to just how close the series was last time. We didn't see this map though. Now moving through, it's been a really, really close game. Slight disparity on the side of Rated R, who instead of the 2 loadout utility grenades have, of course, went with the ball talk instead. Looking to try and get back into this game. 3-2 down.
I think the Boltok's actually a better option. I think you've got enough with your 2 back spawns and your 1 extra utility. I think that's enough for an opening fight.
I agree.
The Boltok provides a little bit more on the up top kind of side of things, especially in the second half where the E-Hill is down here and everyone's kind of popping over trying to get Lancer fire. If Marsh hits just a couple of headshots with that active, he'll look pretty good.
A couple of kills have went in the favor of Oxygen though, so they're going to start pushing. There you go, Marsh is done. Skills finds the kill. Eddie finds the cleanup on the paint as well. Everything has went Oxygen's way. Every single kill in their favor. Dragons not in a good position to do anything about this, and Oxygen get around in 43 seconds and put themselves on map point 4-2 now. A very, very nicely done round. Just executed so well. Every gunfight goes in their favor. And Oxygen, 1 point away here, presenting the series to 1-0 to themselves.
Be a nice way to open it. And, you know, we got to remember here, Rated R, they have beat some of the titans of Gears 5 on this map. They beat Estral when they came off that second place major performance. They beat Reciprocity on this map, who were, back-to-back world champions. They really are at the top of their game on this map, and they really can beat the best of teams on it. So for Oxygen to really be shutting them down like this and performing the way they're doing, this is really good. It's really promising for Oxygen, especially only 4 weeks in to this Pro League as a new team into it.
Oxygen now, can they get this done? Within 7, the start of the gunfight, Dragon snaps onto skills, and he will be picked back up as well. Here can the rest of the team. How the hell is he down Fractures behind there? Fractures keeps on going, sorry, down Zorkos. Fractures can't be killed, clearly.
Absolutely not.
F&E now in the favor of Oxygen. Yeah, this is a big gunfight. Slazen, can he find anything here? You can see there's actually one member of Oxygen pushing around the other side as Fractures and Cole continue to run through members of Rated R. Tell you what, Bunker looks very, very nice for Oxygen.
Oh, this is going to be a bit of a horrible play here from Oxygen. You're right. There's going to be a playthrough. They're just waiting for that last player to come off spawn, and as soon as that number 8 plays and disappears through that tunnel, we're going to see a rotation come through, and I think it's Zorkos who's rotating around. They don't know where he is. They've heard him. You can see they're turning to face that D-Hill, but this is pressure right now. Rated R, how are you going to deal with it? You're getting dominated. There's a player on all hills. In the end, Zorkos will fall, but look at the point lead they're getting from this. They've doubled their point lead. They've got full setup. They forced Rated R into a real bad spot.
It's a big lead, but it's not insurmountable if you're Rated R. Get a hold of E, make the push over towards F, and sounds easier than it probably is, to be fair, but it's still doable. Eddie, though, will find that first kill for Oxygen in potentially the last fight here. Which way does this one go? Cougar's trying to butter them up as best he can, and here are going to be going the rest of Oxygen. They don't want to engage too much. They know they have the lead. They know that Rated R have to be the ones to make the push. Eddie is going to go down. So maybe without Ashens, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Zorkos drops as well. His skills goes down one himself. They haven't cleaned him up quite yet, and won't manage to clean them up here, but this fight continues. It starts to go Rated R's way, but the COG team win condition is still there, but not many of them are up. Look at this fight going over towards D as well. There's a bit of a ring around the roses towards the bunker side there, but Dragon's currently dominating, but Fractures and Eddie starting to combine well together. There's a gunfight one on the other side of the map for Oxygen as well as they get a hold of D, and it's Fractures once again. The team just clutching up when they need to, trying to find the Gib straight onto him. Not going to be able to find it. Marsh allows the new bro to come in, but Oxygen spread themselves across the map. They get a hold of E. They get a hold of their home hill. This should be the round if they can lock this one in.
It should be, but they're going to lose F. So this is actually going to come down to this one big fight here on E. If they lose this one, and this 1v1 goes the wrong way here, Fractures versus Marsh, this is going to be a turnable game for Rated R. And for all that Eddie did, for all that Fractures did, it still comes down to one more big fight. Eddie gets another one, looking for his second three-piece. Marsh, though, on the other side of things, has won his 1v1. Oh. Is anyone going to be able to get to that F-hill? It's not going to matter because Eddie and Cougars, looks like they're clutching up here. Once again, E-hill, they've got another fight in their hand. An angry Marsh is going to fly in. He's going to fly out as well. Cougars finds a lovely one bump.
He's being dealt with.
Should be round. Should be round at this point.
That should be it. I'd be very surprised if Rated R can get back into this one. You can see they just can't get near to F. They don't have the legs for it. Oxygen will deal with a comfortable bunker. 5-2. A very, very nice performance out of them And a 1-0 lead belongs to Oxygen. That was some performance for him, it has to be said.
Yeah. Really, really nice play there. Eddie as well at the end. He clutched up massively on his home hill.
Look at that again.
Against the odds, 1v3 fractures.
He just
as well.
survived so well. I mean, I think he had the most amount of kills, assists, and the least amount of deaths. He just plays his life very, very well.
Yeah.
But you have to give a shout out to guys like Cougars who helped them in a lot of those rounds. You have to give a shout out to Fractures who helped them in a lot of those rounds. An overall very good performance. I think the controlling rounds were very solid from Oxygen. Honestly, when they were holding that 2-cap, they looked good. They were able to rotate around. And then those moments where they needed to go clutch, they did that as well. A 1-0 lead for Oxygen is very, very well deserved heading into Exhibit.
Yeah, definitely so. We've definitely got a very strong kind of three-way battle at the top of the table now, which is really good to see, because it was always 2-2 before, wasn't it? And we've always said, take that extra step, your rated Rs, not your rated R, sorry, your Regal Reserves and your Obey Alliances. Oxygen, they are taking it and running with it. And they go into Exhibit now, which is going to be their pick. We got to remember that. It's a map that they've not beat rated R on yet, but they picked it. They must be confident on it, and they've seen rated R play on it a lot of times. There's a lot of footage to go back on, so they should be practiced on this one, and it should be a really good game too.
Yeah, I'm really, really impressed with Oxygen in that game. I've been impressed with them, with how they dealt with Elevate last week, but also just the fact that they've done that to rated R as well. They seem to be getting better every single week when they're starting to figure out how to play with each other. Everything just seems to be flowing very, very nicely with this team. I said they've got a bit of everything. They've got that team who can control. They've got that team who can clutch up. Those moments where Fractures found that 3-piece in round number 1, finds 3 kills off the back of his spawn where they were bound to be dominated. Okay, they might not have won that round anyway rated R, but at the same time, it's a big, big reason as to how Oxygen get back into it. Then they play very nicely from there. So they got a bit of everything. I think that's the thing. They're smart. They know where to move around the map, and they also have these moments where they can go big. But a team who also have that is rated R, so I wouldn't count them out quite yet, especially moving on to Exhibit. How good rated R on this map is a problem for Oxygen. But as you said, they picked it. So they obviously want to go into this map. They know how to play against rated R, and I'm curious to see if they can get this done in 2.
I mean, there's every chance that it could come through. There really is every chance that this could be a 2-0 to Oxygen, and we're going to see another team join top of the leaderboard. It's a really interesting situation to find ourselves in week 4, saying that, one of these kind of newly formed teams is actually challenging and pushing the top teams out of the way, essentially. Not even pushing them, just pushing them out of the way. They're looking real good, and it's not like they're close games either.
No.
Elevate last week, they did smash them. Oxygen, they walked through them, as you said.
Yeah.
They look really
especially
strong
map 2.
And now here, 5-2 on Bunker against rated R, and rated R, as I said, are a very good Bunker team when they're playing well. They are a top tier Bunker team. Just out the park with them, and completely destroyed.
Oh, completely. But what we were saying before, where it would be great to have 4 teams who you just don't know who is going to win the game. I'll take 3 though. When you're going into these matchups every single week and thinking to yourself, I don't know who's going to be coming out on top. It's an ideal scenario for us, and obviously fans of the EU Gears Pro League, we love to see it. And for so often, we had Elevate at the top. Nobody was challenging them, and it's so nice to see 3 different teams in here who could all possibly beat each other. We know that rated R have lost Elevate in the past very recently, of course. We know that rated R have beat Elevate. Oxygen have lost to rated R. Oxygen are up against rated R now at 5-2. So we've got a nicely set up season here. Of course, the major coming up towards the end of July as well. Just it's
all looking good.
It's a good time to be a Gears fan. Exhibit now coming up here, and I'm curious to see if rated R can bounce back. Is that the ambulance in the background there for rated R?
That is,
or is that potentially
rated R?
Is that potentially the fireman coming to
put
put
out the fire?
Physics.
I'm not sure which it is just yet.
Oh god, yeah. If he's watching physics, I've got no controller through when he says these sort of things. I do apologize.
Well, we take the good with the bad, and physics was the bad. The good is Wyvern Markser is up for grabs. So if you're in the chat and you don't want to hear me, go and claim that one, because it's a nice skin set, that's for sure.
Nice to see you all along for the journey here. 2,700 of you joining in, which is going to be a fantastic game. Rated R yet to be defeated this quarter. on Exhibit. And they're going to have to continue that trend if they want to stay in this series. Oxygen now looking to bury them at 2-0. And this is Oxygen's pick, so feeling confident on Rated R's typical, very, very strong map.
It is indeed. And what Rated R do very, very well is this controlling opening fight. They got pushed heavily by Elevate in the very first time they matched up on this and really got shown how to play it. But now they've turned it around. They've learned from that. And you can see these kind of flash opening plays are what they're trying to go for. Bit of a miss roll there from Marsh. Will cost him his life, and that will put Pains in a lot of pressure as well. That's a nice opening duo of kills there for Oxygen as they look to start off where they left off here on Exhibit.
Slazen trying to get something going here. He's going to manage to find a kill on the skills. Putting down damage where he can, but Dragons is going to drop. Dragons having maybe a bit of a slow game here, and it's not helping the team out. I'm curious to see. Keep an eye on our Twitter and at EGL to see the stats from the last game. I want to inspect them to see if anybody was performing under their expectations. Of course, Dragons, though, we have such high expectations for a player of his caliber to perform week in, week out. But Slazen and Co need to turn this one round. Oxygen in control of round number 1.
They have to. They have to. If they're going to have a shot here of being this first seed, they've got to win this matchup. They've got to win it convincingly as well. Right now, Oxygen, 30 points up, 2 hills to their name. Kills going their way as well.
No, Dragons. It's time to clutch up. It's only round number 1. He is going to find 1 down, but can't find much else. The Lance Sapphire coming in from Eddie. Strikers, can he find anything? He's done very, very well. We'll find fractures and skills. So, Rated R pushed into a corner, but come out swinging. Still, it's Oxygen with that win condition. Still, it's Oxygen with control of B and C. The kills now coming in here for Cougars. Finds Marsh with the meat shield and beats Dragon to a pulp. Maybe that's going to help Oxygen to get back into control this round because Rated R have got control of B.
They have indeed. And they will win with it. 50 seconds or so, but you got to think a break here or there will be quite enough to turn that tide around. Fractures now gets it down. Striker's going to fall. So does Slazen. This B hill was not Rated R's for very long at all. We'll go the way now of Oxygen as an up A comes through from Dragons. Looking for a second. Will get taken out. His duo as well in Pains should die as well. Skills trying to find the kill on Marsh to all but secure it, but the knife's going to come in. Supporting fire from Eddie should seal the deal here as Swarm. In just 5 seconds time, we'll take this first map. And Sea Hill, there is nobody near it for Rated R. Eddie's just styling at the end there. It's a Swarm victory. Oxygen, they're going to get the first one on the board, and they look very, very comfortable whilst doing so.
Nicely done. Oxygen with a really good start. I think it just comes down to how well they broke initially and how well they held it for so long. Made it a very, very tall order for Rated R to come back into it, but just perusing over the stats from the previous game.
I was about to say, do you want a stat?
A 3.5.
Yep.
He put up last time.
Absolutely great, isn't it, from Ashens?
Massive, massive round out of him. But see, players like Strikers with a 1.44, Pains with a 1.38. Not what you want to see if you're a Rated R fan.
Yeah, the kind of more important stat to me there is Pains kind of kept to single-digit kills. Same with Slazen, and their assist tally isn't really high enough for them to really warrant that. You know, like if you see an 8 and 19, you know they're having a good game. It's just they're assisting rather than getting those kills in the end. But 8 and 10 with 13 deaths is not a fantastic scoreline. They probably want that game back again.
Yeah, they definitely would like another shot at them. Right now, they have to make sure they extend this series. As Oxygen are looking very, very good here. Nobody able to get a hold of B just yet. But which way does this fight go? Rated R looking like they're going to be getting on top. Dragon starting to come to life. Gets a hold of B after finding 2 kills, and the rest of the kills starting to come through here for Rated R once more. C and B in control. The majority of the kills in their favor as well. They're going to keep on going. Strikers trying to come around behind. Eddie's going to be dealt with, and all of a sudden, Oxygen are in a really, really bad spot. A is going to be captured. Oxygen coming off the respawn, though. Can they hold on in this round? The domination about to tick on through. Have they got time to get there? It looks like one might just about slip the net. They have done. They're going to be able to try and get in, but where are the gunfights going to go? They're trying to get in. They can't get in. Rated R here to play. And they get their first round on the board. On Exhibit. One apiece now.
Comfortable round there for Rated R. Looking very, very good. Nice ending fight as well. Contained the members of Oxygen. Nothing really placed down just yet.
It's not like you see anything crazy on, really, is it?
Not usually, no. You
Yeah.
usually see those grenades being built up, and they're really useful on this map because you can block off those side corridors with them. You can kind of capture that whole central ring, and given that the ring's there for both halves, as we mention it quite often, it doesn't change hills-wise. They're a really useful tool just to keep getting every single round, right? From round 2, you've got that utility, that pressure of that incendiary to block off that entire hill, and if you make a mistake, you've always got that fallback plan.
Pains now will get a hold of B here and raid it up. Get this initial break, albeit they only found 1 kill, really, and that's all it took to get a hold of it. We know they're proficient on this map, and Oxygen have to back down from the position they were in. Skills and Eddie both going to get dropped, but will just about get out with their lives. Eddie down again, but in a position to get himself back up where his teammates. But Oxygen pinned back here a little bit and raided on. Not necessarily going to hang around too long. They're going to expect the overextension, which is coming in from Cougars, but he's on his own. Oh, no, he isn't. Sorry, Zorkos is there with him. Pains is going to catch Eddie, though. Just had the right-hand side cover, and it's always an easier fight. Cougars and Zorkos, though, doing a bit of damage here. Oh my god, Dragons has flown in Zorkos, who's on the A side of things. He's going to be dropped down. Oxygen seem to be grasping at straws with this push, which has lasted maybe a little bit longer than Rated R would have liked, but they deal with them in the end.
They do indeed. Eddie having to back out very, very quickly. Flashbang's going to come down here. Oxygen starting to push forward. It's Fractures and Ashen's 2 top performers from the last map. Trying to make it happen. Trying to make it work down here in the aquarium side of things. Eddie, will he go for that quick wrap shot on Marsh? Marsh can be seen waiting. No one really going to move. No one really risking it. They know that 1 death down here could really be the end of them, especially while their team are fighting on the other side as well. Skills, he's doing a lot of work here. He's got the kill on Dragon. Strikers, though, putting pressure on him still. Just a lot of back and forth. A lot of trying to find an angle, right? Trying to find a little bit of damage here and there just to open up an opportunity for your teammates.
So the win condition is with Oxygen here. C and B in their favor, but these incense are going to make this fight come to life in a second. Marsh is going to force them away. I'd like to see the Incen maybe come in there to try and break it, but maybe they were just waiting on it anyway. Marsh overextends a little bit, but as does Eddie. Which way is this one going to go? Dragons does find something with the Incen. Strikers is going to go down, though, as is Paints. Cougars there to find another. Paints and Dragons both going down to Cougars. Massive plays out of him. Slazen is there down to back, as is Marsh, though. So Rated R still in this round, but they're the ones that have to make the move. Skills could do with finding this kill. He's got help from up top as well. Slazen not doing a great deal from here. Eddie is just going to pin him in. Knows he has to make the push. Dragons is going to find a killer down low. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, but they are going to manage to get a hold of B here. I tell you what, though, that win condition is still with them. It's with Rated R now. It's flipped on its head. It's going to be a 1-point game. And Rated R just needed 1 break. I didn't realize how close it was, and Oxygen get pinned back at the final second.
Do indeed, and Rated R, they needed that round. They really did. Find themselves with a win in the series. Find themselves ahead. They play well when they're in a good spot, when they're confident with what they're doing. Stealing around like that really is a good momentum boost for you. Incendiary's going to go down here on the other opposite sides. Seeing that timer get reduced to 60 seconds as well. That's going to be a difficult one to deal with down in that close quarters area, down at the bottom side of things. And the last round in the half, as you can see at the top, the lives will reset after this one. Right now, that's not really of any significance, as most players, Zorkos, I guess, and Strikers, Pains, they're down at 2, but most players sitting pretty healthy.
Cougars with the Incen, not really going to land anything there. Oxygen in a bit of pain from that previous round. Pain's overextending maybe a little bit here, as Skills will put in the shots, but he will be able to get a hold of B and get picked up by the rest of his team as well. Just seems as if it's that final kill coming in from Oxygen, which isn't quite there. Haven't been able to find everything. Slays in now, shots in, kill in as well. But Dragon's Cup, still the ones in control here. They have a hold of C, they have a hold of B. Pain's finding kills like that onto Zorkos as well is always going to help, so Skills and Cup have to back on down. This is much more like it from Rated R here, Fruit.
So, definitely so. Push from up top coming through. Cougars now being met with a rotation here from Rated R. We'll have a little bit more of a difficult job, but it's just pressure, right? Incen's going to go down and we'll go over the top. Nothing really damaging there. Strikers and Fractures both getting traded out here as Marsh now has another grenade in hand. It looks to be a flashbang. Rolling back, Cougars finding a little bit of a better spot to support his teammate from. Lancers out. As this is not a fight we usually kind of find ourselves in, really. Up in this exhibit area, the Reaver. Just back to the left there. Kind of standing monument up top.
Oh, I was about to say all of a sudden, yeah, really good kills. I was about to say all of a sudden, Oxygen have a hold of A and B, but they have lost a couple of gunfights here, and Dragons is a big 1v1. That's a great shot around the corner. Fractures can do absolutely nothing about that. Dragons rolls round, don't miss, don't lose. Skills is going to be able to get a hold of A here, and they're quite far behind. Dragons is just going to keep going, isn't he? Surely, yes, he is. So, a dangerous prospect for Oxygen now as the 3-1 down, and Dragons is firing. Looking very, very nice now for Rated R. This is, as said, Oxygen's map pick, but Rated R so proficient on Exhibit. And flexing their muscles a little bit on Oxygen here now, 3-1. Oxygen need to change something.
Question is what is it gonna be? It looks like they're just gonna half the timer on the incendiary and have B it. I'm not sure that's quite the big enough swing that they need at this point, but we'll see how they play. We've seen teams come back from 2 rounds down just today. So, absolutely not out of the count just yet. Incen's going to get picked up by Dragons. He'll wait for the cap and then rotate. Both teams opting to get that 2 cap.
Shots coming in here from Pins, and we need to see a big Oxygen round, I feel. Oh, Pins is dead. Nice incent from Cougars. Not much Pins can do about that. Maybe just push a little bit too far, but I think that's one of those things where if you start to limit what Pins can do, that's a detriment to how he plays. So pushing forward is very often something he likes to do. Cougars is going to find a kill on the Marsh as well. E now should be going into the hands of Oxygen. Cougars is just about going to be able to get away. Will help his team get a hold of E whilst he's at it as well. So a good start by Oxygen here. They could do with finding this round. They're starting to find a few more kills as well. Going to try and not take off a little bit too much here. I think it's a case of biting off more than you can chew sometimes on Exhibit. Just hold your positions, lock down these lines with the Lancers, and try and hold on to E.
E-Hill will get capped up for Rated R. I think if you're Oxygen, the pressure has to come soon because whilst they're in the middle of that E-Hill capturing, they're slightly out of position. The defensive corridors aren't quite as well defended as they usually would be. But now they've allowed Rated R to kind of background on themselves and get themselves in that good position. Now they're in a situation where it's going to be very, very difficult to push up on this. They need flashbangs, they need incendiaries. See Eddie picking one up there. We'll start to rotate that one round.
Striker's now rotating around to help his teammate out. It's a good incend. It's just blind into the group of players from Oxygen that were pushing around. Strikers are going to be picked back up here. This push coming on the other side from Zorkos, though, could be big. Fractures and Co are going to be able to get a hold of E, but it's just a war of attrition in the middle right now, isn't it? Nobody able to establish dominance, and ultimately it's just backwards and forwards. Rated R going to get back into E. They have a hold of their home, of course, and the overextension coming in here from Rated R over towards F. Rated R now looking to try and run away with it. Oh, there's they do back on down. Incense up, and that's probably motive to sit back a little bit here and wait for what comes next.
What comes next should be quite an aggressive push, really, from Oxygen. Fracture's going to go down. Isn't going to help things out, but that kill on Dragons could be the catalyst here. Could be the opening route they need. They got 15 seconds to make a play. Cougars soaking damage up, will go down. Soaks way too much up there. In the end, goes down again now. Last life. That means Cougars has to be the kind of like the last one in there, really, into that fight. The break on E does happen. Now it's all about this D hill. Who's going to be able to get in? Eddie absorbing the fire.
There we go.
Can they do it, though? It's a 2v4 situation. It's a massacre. There's Rated R. They're going to go up 4-1 here. Really, really good defense.
Very, very nicely done. Rated R, showing why you shouldn't be picking Exhibit against them. Oxygen, maybe an oversight on this side of things. Last time around it was 5-3 to Rated R. And even after Oxygen's convincing win on map number 1, we still find ourselves here with Rated R 4-1 up. So it was a really good mental game from Rated R, has to be said. After losing map number 1, your pick Bunker, going on to, yes, okay, the tried and tested Exhibit. But the fact that they're doing this so convincingly has got to be a good thing for them heading into map number 3. If we get there, though, we could still see the swing from Oxygen. They need 4 in a row to do this 2-0.
Be a great swing. It really would be a great swing. Well, I'm not quite sure they're going to get there. Rated R, they've just looked too convincing. They really are a good team on Exhibit. They're good on Bunker, but they've shown up this quarter on Exhibit. Actually, they showed up last quarter on Exhibit as well, having that one loss to elevate on it.
Shots coming in. This is such a crucial round for Oxygen. They can get a big win here. Try and get some things. You know, I don't think it matters when Marsh is firing like that. Flash comes in. It's a simple kill, but they're just working things so well. Rated R down low. I mean, when you got players like Dragons, players like Pains, in these sort of scenarios, it's such a hard team to deal with on this map. They just fly at you at every single opportunity, and they're just going to keep moving forward. A button held well and truly down the whole entire game. Rated R forcing their will upon Oxygen. Can they clutch up once again? Like we've seen in round number 1 of Bunker, I don't think it's going to happen. All the kills starting to go towards Rated R. This domination will tick in for quite some time. I tell you what, though, here we go. Cougars, can he find anything? No, Dragons is there to trade. Can he find anything else? No, he cannot. Oxygen are just about going to hold on here. Skills finds 2 kills to secure it in. So they're still alive in this map, but they've got a mountain to climb from here.
It really is a mountain as well. I mean, the elimination actually ticked for a second there against Rated R. That's how close it was, but nice kills by Skills in the end to hold his team in it. They've got to be quick about this. They've not got the worst of point deficits. I've seen a lot worse, but it's certainly not a comfortable situation to find themselves in. Oxygen actually now, they're all the way over the other side. I don't know how they've managed to get this. Cougars doesn't lock it in the end. That might have been a mistake. Just stay in there for just one more second. Even if you die, you get that 1 kill. You might even get domination as your team. They lock in this E-hill at the same time as you. Oh, Marsh, lovely kill over the top though. This looks to be Rated R. They're trading the downs back and forth, but only Rated R really are managing to pick up the kills. The revives are not there for Oxygen. 3 dead now, 4 dead. Cougars the only one alive.
Difficult spot for Oxygen to be in now. Nearly came back into the round there, and these incens are going to have to be very, very solid. If you're an Oxygen player to try and find this one, they are going to need a domination here. Everybody up off the respawn for one final time, you think. Skills on 0 respawns as well. These kills are just not going in their favor. Slays and Dragons find 2. This should be it, really. Zorkos, though, is going to find 1. Skills is going to find 1 himself, but Marsh comes in, finds 2, finds 3 as well. It's stunning Gears of War from Marsh once again. He locks in the map for his team. That's 5-1, and we are heading to map number 3. Both maps have been comfortable on one side of the coin, but what is that going to say for map number 3? Rated R dominant on Exhibit once again.
They really have been. Dragons up there, 23, 15, and 8. We gave Ashen's credit last map. We got to give Dragons credit this map. Those ones to watch, they're coming up fruitful once again.
So really good from Dragons. And it's one of those maps that you know he's scary on. You know he can be really, really scary on. It's just these down low points. There's so many places where he can thrive in how he plays Gears of War. And we're heading into map number 3, and we're poised on a knife edge. Both games very, very, well, not very, very one-sided, but comfortable on one side of things, but for the two opposite teams. Now we head into Icebound, I do believe. And I'm curious to see which way this one goes. Last time around, Rated R won this map. And you'd like to think you would probably put your money on them. In all honesty, with the way that they won that one on Exhibit, the way that Icebound went last time as well, I'm going to go with Rated R here, because just the way how they won that Exhibit as well, they seem to be into it. They seem to come into it a little bit slowly into the series, and Oxygen took advantage of that. However, we find ourselves one apiece now, heading into map number 3. And I feel as if Rated R should be able to come back here.
Yes, yeah. I feel like momentum's on their side as well. That's a huge factor
100%.
in Gears. We talk
100%.
about it a lot. It's difficult to kind of break it down as well. Once a team is really starting to perform, stopping them whilst you're on the kind of receiving end of that brutality is a difficult job. And that does transcend maps as well. It's not just a map thing. So for Rated R to kind of pick themselves up after Bunker and say, shake it off, guys. We got to go through. We got to win this one. And to come through and win it so well is a really good sign. And I think I'd agree with you. Money would be put on the kind of Rated R camp if I had some to give.
Have you not got any? What's going on?
Not today.
Not today. We're looking at it from, I suppose, a logical standpoint, but still, Oxygen was a couple of rounds here and there that they were close on. Could have been a different scoreline, but the same could be said of Bunker. It has to be said. Rated R could have definitely been in that one a lot closer than they were in the end. So both these two teams just clutching up when they need to in the rounds that are important. And we head over towards Icebound. Yes, okay, I would still favor Rated R, but Oxygen, a couple of rounds here and there, go their favor, and suddenly it could be a very, very close game. And I think we always, even though Oxygen picked that one, I think we always earmarked Exhibit for Rated R. And I'm still curious as to why Oxygen picked it. I still think it's an oversight.
Teams won't learn.
I don't understand.
We've seen it
They're so good at it. Stop picking it.
We've said it every week. The players can't be watching these back, otherwise they'd have listened. Or they just
choose to ignore
the
us.
wind and say, yeah, these guys don't know. We've only watched you for a year, guys. Come on.
I know, it's one of those.
Good at Exhibit.
You can say it about me. Yeah, I'm not quite the Gears caster I try to make myself out to be. Yeah, but you've been doing this a while now. They should be listening to you, mate. That's what I'm saying. It's not just me saying it.
Maybe one day. But no, they are a fantastic Exhibit team, and they've only got stronger every time we've seen them play it. So it does start to kind of wonder at the back of your mind why teams are still continuing to pick it against them.
I mean, the thing is as well, you can instantly ban it. You don't need to play them. It's never at the point where you need to play Rated R on Exhibit. But maybe you favor yourself of maybe giving them a good game on that rather than you picking your so-called instant ban, whatever that map is. Still, I just think you put the fact that they just never ever bloody lose it. It's a consideration, and say, right, let's make sure we get rid of this one. Although the last time they lost it was the major final, I do believe, against Elevate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
when
doable.
They tried to turtle.
Yeah, and when they do that, it doesn't work out for them. I will still never understand why they did that. It really annoyed me, because I loved watching Rated R fly at people on Exhibit, just gain control, and then they're just like, no, let's change everything about how good we are. In the grand finals of the major, which I'm sure Marshall, somebody would like to come on here and tell me I'm wrong, but
maybe we can get one of those interviews. We'll see.
And ask them, why are you tail up on that map?
Yeah.
When you're so good at just flying forward. But thank you to everybody in the chat here today. 2,700 of you chilling out with us on this Monday evening. Of course, skins on offer. Make sure you do claim them. I'm sure Fru is already there getting a hold of them if you can.
Yep. I am indeed. The Golden Esports spray has actually just come live. So if you haven't already claimed that one, do so before we get into this map 3, because that's a tasty one. Actually, it looks nice. I'll be rocking that one for sure.
Yes. I'd like to say the same. I'd like to say the same, but we don't play together, Fru. I don't want to, bring you down. Even though you said you were pleasantly surprised at how semi-competent I was last time we played. I'm being.
Yeah, but then you told me you were on mouse and keyboard, and that's a Toby's game there. I'm not backing you up on that side.
Me and Toby Campbell, master race, mate. Master race.
Sick as thieves, you two.
We're just in it together, mate. He's an inspiration to me. we head on Icebound, rated R. I'm saying Toby's an inspiration, mate.
No, he is. 2v2. Second place. Not champion, but
No, we've seen what happened. Oh dear. Anyway, we'll not talk about that. He'll be in the chat giving me some right now, no doubt. But here we go. Into Icebound, rated R, yet to lose it this season, and maybe these initials is why. Skills is going to clean up one, not two. Cougars is there to go down, though, as his Fractures in the end. It's just about going to be a rated R win here. Over towards the Trading Post. Dragons is going to keep on running as well. We'll just fight them away, if you like, but the Trading Post is an important part of the map to hold, and rated R have control of it from the rip.
Especially in this first half. Really is important. Zorko's trying to get some semblance of control here. Big shot there, opening up a kill for Fractures. Dragon's going to fall. Ooh. Cougars gets another one. Cougars gets another two, actually. As things flip on their head here. Who's left alive? Not Slays in. He's going to get taken out quickly. Cougars now backing up a little bit. Goes for the AP. A little bit mismanaged.
He could have just waited.
Yeah,
he could have just waited.
His team did come up behind him. Should be a clean round, though, if they can get just one more kill.
Yeah, they will get the kills. They will be able to lock this one in. Striker's not quite quick enough. And it's a good first round of Oxygen. Not quite straight from the rip that we've seen Elevated doing, of course. Two teams sick, but we get a hold of the kills nicely. Skills finding 4 there. He's really coming into his own, isn't he? Proving, sorry, I should say, to be a very, very good pickup. I said, like, you know, I was quite... not necessarily vocally critical, but I thought to myself when they made the changes, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know. You know, they were getting there, but clearly they weren't happy with just getting there. Formerly Rego Reserve, of course, now Oxygen.
Yep.
Made the changes to try and compete with teams like Rated R, to compete with teams like Elevate, and it's paying off so far.
Sure is. 4 more rounds here, and they will be in the best position a third seed team has found themselves in for a long time, that's for sure.
He's going to find the first kill, but he is going to go down as his Skills. But which way are these fights going to go? Just about in Oxygen's favor once again, and Fractures wants a little bit more here. He's pushing over towards A. He's going to be met by, I believe it is Marsh, though. He's going to have to back on down. Fractures closing in from the other side of things. This is so well executed by Oxygen. They didn't push over towards C, though, so off the respawn, they're going to have to get a hold of that. It's going to give Rated R maybe just a little bit of a chance to get back in towards A. They are going to be able to get back in, but can they win the gunfights? No, they cannot. They're all dropping. Oxygen are about to take a 2-0 lead here in map number 3. And that's such a clean round, 48 seconds. The neck break somewhat timed with the end of the round, and that's 2-0. Nicely done from Oxygen.
Really, really nicely done. Very, very well timed, that push round. The execution, as you said, flawless. They just seem to be hitting all their shots as well. 2-0. We said momentum's difficult to break. They've done it. They found those kills on the opener. Shot grenades now going to come in and make things a little bit more spicy in that middle room, a little bit more sticky, as they will cover a large portion of that opening entrance. Will be interesting to see if both teams still commit to this fight. Cougar's going to be that first one in here on the Oxygen side of things. Going to hit that up A. Flashbang's going to miss. Where's the shot grenade? It's behind them. Cougar's going to go down. Skills was stunned up as well. Question is, can they get the revive?
Yeah, they're just about going to be able to get it. Pains has done very, very well for his team there. Fighting Suit does go down, but the damage was already done. Rated up are the ones that control C and B in their favor. Fracture's just a little bit too late to get enough good shots in. Zolkos taking damage here as now. Oxygen will have to regroup and make a push, but the control in middle in the trading post belongs to Rated R. It's very, very important. We can see Oxygen are posturing up towards this side of the map. Here comes the push here as well. Dragon's going to put the shots in, but is going to get caught off guard. Pains, though, what can he do? Nothing. Just sit and watch the respawn timer tick on down as Eddie finds 2. And Oxygen keep on moving. This is a good retake in the middle of the map from them. They could do with finding this kill on Marsh, who's done so well to survive. And here come the rest of the team off respawn. Oxygen will have to back down, but they do well to get control of mid-map and not lose anybody.
Really, really nice play here. They find themselves 50 points down, but that will tick back very, very soon. 2 downs, though. That's not going to help matters here. Rated R trying to find some kills. It's Marsh. He gets 3. Zorkos, Fractures, both going to die down. Shot grenade is good, though, from Oxygen. Can they get in? Can they stop the domination? They seem to be so far. Eddie's going to down himself with that shock, but has to basically take it in order to stop this domination. Ticking in 3 seconds on the clock here for Rated R. They're going to get the down on Cougars. He gets the break. Can the rest of Oxygen do anything about it? Don't think they can. Unless Skills at B manage to find that extension. That's a beautiful rotation there. Really, really nice from Skills. Heads up plate. Gets himself to the least difficult ring break, I suppose.
Yeah, he's done well, but you would like to see somebody from Rated R lingering around there, but they really put all their eggs in the A basket. However, Rated R will still be happy with this 100-point and climbing lead. Oxygen need one really, really good break in there, straight back into this game. It will take a domination, though, 23 seconds or so for Rated R to close this one out. Fracture's going to find the first kill of 5 that Oxygen need to find here. They're not going to be able to. Fractures and Cougars and Zorkos and everybody else dropping from Oxygen. Skills still a bit, still holding it as best as he can. Doing very well at doing so as well, but this round is going to be Rated R's, barring an absolute miracle. I don't think Skills has got the legs on him to make it all the way over to C in time, and that will be Rated R's first round. 2-1 now. Getting back into the game.
They are indeed. Team fighting just going the way there, really, of Rated R. They were finding the kills, supporting each other. Liking what I'm seeing from Skills on the backside of that. Nice little 1v2 situation, or I guess back-to-back 1v1s if you want to be accurate. Definitely not kind of feeling any pressure, any kind of imposter syndrome here, really, as he's fighting against some of the best in the world. He's come in, he's thrown down, and he's matching him, to be quite honest.
And round 4. Final round of the half, looking to see if anyone's under threat of respawns. Cougars is really the only one there. No surprise, really. Look at him flying forward. He's already basically in Rated R spawn. Is he going to be able to catch Slayers in? Yes, he is. Good second shots in there. Going to be pushed here. 5 pains as well. Doesn't manage to land anything, and he's about to be pushed out by further members of Rated R. You'll do very well to find anything from this one. Cougars always fighting a losing battle in that place, but the pressure has come in. It's allowed the rest of his team to get a hold of B and a hold of their home hill as well, and Oxygen will set up with a 2-cap.
Nice smoke grenade as well. I don't often see those coming through, so just smoking out the tower. Bit of vision lost there. Shot grenade going to come out. Not going to connect with anything, but does keep that hill in Oxygen's favor for now. And actually, if I'm Oxygen at this point, I'm starting to make that rotation. You've got about 5 seconds while that shock's down. Make the move at that point in time. Find some kills elsewhere as your opposition are stuck. Nice up A by Cougars. Really, really good. Striker should fall as well on that other side of things. Skills getting pushed pretty aggressively here. Can he do anything about it? Just get a nice spread, but in the end, there's just too many people to deal with. Eddie's going to meet the same fate as well if he's not careful.
Oh, he's out as well. He had to sort of make a decision whether to sit back and pepper them up as best he can, or whether to make the push and try and help them in the 2v2 Nasha fight, but sort of hesitated a little bit and couldn't make the ground up in time. Dragons is going to go down, and they will get a hold of C here, Oxygen. They still have a healthy lead. That win condition will be with Rated R as we tick into the final seconds of the round very, very shortly. To pay attention to Cougars as well. 0 respawns for him now.
It's going to be crucial. Just breaking the ice here, Slays, and making sure no one's jumping through that window. No one's rotating around. Storm's going to come in, though. That's a little bit unfortunate for Slazen. Because in the end, all his work is for nothing. Oxygen, they find the break on the B hill. That's important.
That'll do it for them, to be fair. Skills is going to go down. Oh, they haven't been able to quite lock this one in, and here come the rest of Rated R. It's going to be a big fight, though. Zorkos flying forward is going to go down. A couple of kills going. Oh, and Eddie's rolled straight into the shot grenade. Shot grenade on the other side of things, though, is going to find Dragons. Cougars has to sit back here, but B, crucially, hasn't went to Rated. I mean, Cougars just going to run forward and 0 respawns. Okay, keep that one going. I love the aggression from him, but Strikers over towards C. Rated R position themselves so nicely on the map. That's so well played from Rated R. They just rotate around. Oxygen aren't aware of what's going on, and just take it right from under their noses. 2-2 heading into the second half. Oh, wow. I mean, this game could literally go either way. I really don't know. I really don't know. It just seems as if one round it seems as if it's going one direction, then it flips to the other. It's just so back and forth. Cracking game so far.
It really is. You know, we mentioned at the start, we want to see that map 3, that barn burner. And I think we're getting it. Yes, the first 2 maps, bit one-sided either way, but at least they went to different teams, right? Now the 3rd map, Icebound, giving us what we really wanted. These teams going head-to-head, back-to-back. Just finding the rounds from under each other's noses. It's looking real good. Exactly everything you want a map 3 to be. The only thing you really want now is to go to round 9.
That would be nice. It'd be rude not to, really, wouldn't it? After 2 one-sided maps, heading over towards round number 9 would be quite nice. Here we go. The break's starting to come through from Radar. Can't quite get a hold of it though. It's Oxygen with the tick, although I don't think with these 2 teams that'll come into fruition. Here we go. Push coming in from Radar. Oxygen anywhere to answer it. Marsh has been dropped. It's a good insend as well from Cougars. Martian Striker's going to go down, and now Oxygen can move in fairly easily. Pains are going to get dropped to get control of Trading Post, to get control of E. Nicely done and nicely held by Oxygen. Nice patient play.
It is. Really is. Big kill there from Fractures as well as Pains dies to the ice. This is going to be huge for Oxygen in the map. Let's close this one out here. Actually, the domination is going to start to tick. The elimination also. Wow. Just like that, Oxygen 3-2 up now. They found another round. One step closer.
Really, really nicely done by Oxygen. 3-2. Find themselves in the lead. Both matching each other in terms of weapon placements, yep. Is that a loadout coming in for Oxygen? Or no, just halving the shock. And they just held well. Rated R, the ones that make the first move over towards E. And ultimately, it just wasn't good enough. They just held their incens very, very nicely, did Oxygen. And it's a fairly easily handled job in the end. They play it well and just nice and clean and find themselves in the lead at 3-2.
Push comes in here now. Interesting bit of kind of diversity there in the weapon pit placement. Popped into half different grenades, so shot grenades half on one side and 10 on the other. Opens up a few different problems. Kind of both regard. Oh, that was. Oh, I mean, Marsh deserved to get away with that kill. To be quite honest with you. That's one of my pet peeves, is that that's a logical decision at that point, is to slide into someone holding a pipe. So good to see Marsh coming away with that kill. And just kind of showing he's not scared to really hold his ground, right? Hold his position.
Rated R, that are the ones with control of E, yep. And of course, their home hill. And they're the ones with the lead of about 40 points or so, and that's going to keep on climbing. Slazen and Kono now just trying to keep a hold of this is Oxygen. Starting to use their utility grenades to try and get hold of this once again. We can see Strikers don't have picked up that incense, so keep an eye on that. Oxygen need to retake here. That's the problem. Slazen trying to weigh this one up, just waiting for Oxygen. Just try and make the move. Which way they're going to go? Cougars is overextending over towards Steve. And he's just going to try and make sure Rated are concentrating their resources elsewhere. Doesn't manage to find a kill, though, which is crucial. 35 seconds or so here for Rated R to hold on and tie things up with 3-piece. They're looking good to do so. They've got a nice setup here. They'll take a pretty big collapse to allow Oxygen in all honesty. Shots coming in. Marsh is going to have to back on down. And they're just holding. They don't need to do anything crazy yet. Oxygen made the push. They lock it in, but they're going to need more than just E. They're going to start running. They need to run towards D as best they can. Slazen and Co are going to back on down. These are big, big gunfights. They're just not landing for Oxygen, nor are they. Eddie starts moving, but can't find the kill. They start to roll through. But Rated R, they would take something very, very special out of Fractures. And Eddie saying that E, though, there's one member overextended. for Rated R. There's 2 actually there as well. They should be able to look this one in here through 10 seconds to go. It's going to take something special. I tell you what, Fractures count it's in. They've locked it in. They managed to get a hold of E. Oh, have they? Oh my word, Marsh! He's going to lock in E. He's been held onto as well. Oxygen surely nowhere near this one. What a topsy-turvy round that was. 3 apiece. What a game this has been.
Been really good. I want to call out Marsh on that round, actually. Right at the end, we saw that the plays were going down on both hills there, and he waited so long. He was so patient, and he kind of found himself. You see where the brewery sign is right on the screen right now? There's like a little alcove to the kind of left-hand side of the B there. He was hidden in there, just waiting for the hill to get capped up in front of him. And he knew it was going to come down to a matter, of seconds, but the second Eddie left, he snuck up behind, got the decap, and really just put a real big foot on the offense of Oxygen there. Eddie had to turn back around and fight it, and it was all Marsh's play, quite honestly. Really good patience, really good positioning. Turned it for his team.
And you wonder if maybe the down hadn't come in. Team kill. Would it have been a different story there, but here we go. This round starting well for Rated R as they lock in E. They've got plenty of men here to solidify this control as well. Oxygen just seem to not be being as aggressive towards trading post. Cougars is going to find the kill onto Strikers though. Is this going to open up things for Oxygen?
That's a nice incend there.
Good incend. Yeah, it's a good incend. He's not going to get away, but he sort of limits the damage, if you like.
It is indeed. Ice kill as well coming through. That's the advantage of shooting at the ice from underneath that trading post window. If someone's red jumping out of there, you will freeze to death pretty instantly. Fire and ice. Getting those kills in that opening sector. This is back and forth. Oxygen doing a good job here of just kind of holding out. Keep the points back in their name. Skills gets another one in that trading post. It's going to be a kill though for Pains here as Fractures is all as well. Incend short, and that could have been a double.
Yeah, that incend could have done with landing on at least one. That was a big moment, you feel. Right now with the lead and in control. Don't want to push much further either. Pains just spotting where he can. What was Oxygen's play here? Did they group and push, or did they just try and slowly regain some sort of control in and around E? They'll suspect somebody's in trading post. There's nobody there. Rated R play that well. They backed on down. The flashes are completely wasted on Oxygen's side of things, but they've got their eyes on a different prize, and that is F. Cougars be butted up from the outside. So well played by Rated R. Mosh is there to clean up the pieces. Skills now could do with winning this gunfight. Is going to, with the help of his teammates, as they find a couple more. Marsh is going to go down also, and F is going to go into the hands of Oxygen. I'll tell you what, they're going for E as well here.
Yep. Dangerous play on both fronts. Fracture's going to fall Zorkos too, and this looks like it's crumbling a little bit for Oxygen. Skills need to win this one, but he gets the meat shield. 2 more in front of him, though. What can he do here? Nothing at all. Good kill, good distancing by Marsh and teammate. Looking for a second now as he's fighting on the window. Pains gonna run off, gonna leave Marsh in a 1v1 situation here. Marsh has to jump out the window, has to trade a little bit of control here. Just like that, things turn on its head. Good play there by Marsh in the end.
I'd like to see Cougars go to E, in all honesty. I think Skills is there, he's trying to stay alive as long as possible. But it was sort of wasted. You had your opportunity over towards the middle point, and they didn't take it. Maybe a little bit of a misstep from Oxygen there, as they are going to go down. This is going to be Rated R now on series points at 4-3 up.
They really have done well to kind of keep this one close, have Oxygen, but Rated R pedigree coming through here at the end. 4-3 now. One more round. That's all they need. It's been close all the way through, though. 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. Wouldn't be against the odds here for Oxygen to come through and tie this one up as well. Shot Grenade's going to get locked out. Both sides only going to have those incendiaries in hand to deal with, to fight with. This opens up that central fight a little bit here and changes the strategy somewhat. It'll be interesting to see what the teams do here, as Cougars is going to lead his way out here for the Oxygen side of things. Straight into the trading post. Will go down straight away. Good crossfire And the rest of the team's going to filter in behind. He's
Skills
back on his feet. Skills gets 2 though. Can he get the revive? That's the question. Isn't able to get it. And he's going to get crossed out here. There is not enough support, and that revive would have been crucial.
He chose to go for the shot rather than the revive. If he managed to pick up that 3rd kill, though, it's insane. But Rated R, 4-3 up. Get the initial control. This is some good Lancer fire coming out of Zorkos and Cougars, though. What can they find on the back of this? Eddie is going to find it down on the Marsh as well, who will be back up and kicking. Oh, they can't find anything for it. They find 3 downs, but haven't been able to capitalize just yet. But there is still time. Cougars flies forward, and Zorkos is there behind him. The whole of Oxygen start flying towards the wall side, and Strikers has got it back on down. Strikers has been dropped. Zorkos backs off. The rest of the team here, but the fight's in the middle are being won by Rated R. Pains is starting to fly out, though, as well. Fractures goes down. It's back and forth across the map all the time. Cougars now on 0 respawns. Dragons on 1. This round is still doable here for Oxygen, but it's a 40-point lead and growing for Rated R, who are in the lead of 4-3.
They are indeed. They're getting ever so close to making it 5. Oxygen, you've probably got 2 more attempts on this if you're lucky. Got to make them count. Pushing into trading post. They're going to be in pretty fast here. No decap's going to go down. Skills down very, very quickly. Good focus fire from Rated R there to take out that main Slayer. Eddie's so weak. Needs his teammates there. Fractures is there to support, though. Incend is good. So much damage down. Eddie can't do anything about it.
Cougars is gone.
Fractures, they're both down.
Cougars and Skills are both gone. They need to find Dragons to have even a shot in this one. Zorkos and Fractures are going to combine well, though. This is not unachievable for Oxygen. They could do with finding Dragons. They've found Slayers in there as well. Pains on 1 respawn.
Here is that they've just completely left E completely open. It's going to be an easy retake, even though they're doing all the work down at these home hills. That E hill, there's no one to defend it.
Marsh is going to go down, but as is Zorkos. Slayson coming around behind. What can Fractures find here? They need to be perfect. They can't quite find it. They were resolute all through the series here, but Oxygen maybe just a step too far. Have Rated R been. Dragons is letting them know as well, and 0 respawns himself. He's going to keep on flying. The rest of his team are here with him as well. Dragons is eventually going to be sent permanently to the respawn queue for the rest of the round. But Zorkos now in such a tough spot. It's a 3v4. They just don't have the time at all, and Rated R will secure the dub. 5-3 and a 2-1 series. A very close one, a back and forth one, but ultimately just a little bit too much for Oxygen, even on the second time of asking. 5-2, 5-1, 5-3. Rated R continue to look like the best team in Europe in the summer quarter.
They really do. They do indeed. The exhibit performance was flawless almost. Icebound, not so much. I wouldn't go flawless, but definitely quite comfortable at the end there. Those last 2 rounds, they look really strong on, and keeping that #1 spot, not letting Oxygen, creep up on them in terms of points is a really good sign for Rated R, trying to close this one out in first, but, first this time by points as well, not just that round difference. Got some strong games ahead of them, but that really was a good challenge for them. And now 2 times out of 2, they've managed to beat Oxygen.
And that's good for them. The fact that Oxygen obviously went on to beat Elevate last week as well gives them a really strong hold of the summer quarter, I should say. It feels like spring because the weather's been rubbish up here. That's what I'm thinking. But there we go. Beautiful, another impressive performance from Rated R. Must be nice with sun. Let's have a look at the standings, of course, to see Rated R at the tippity top. 4 points for them after 4 wins, 0 losses. Losing maps, though, it has to be said, they have lost maps, and it has been close games when they have their wins. But obviously, Team Sick really cementing at the bottom there. They're going to do well to go any further than that. But Elevate, in touch of Oxygen, they will have a matchup together against each other, of course, and Rated R should be able to pretty much lock in that first place with that win, as far as I'm aware anyway. I think they would have to lose to Team Sick to not secure first. In my head anyway, I think that's how it should work. It would take something for Oxygen and Elevate to come back and go in against them, but Rated R looking like the best team in Europe right now.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. There's a couple of weeks left, as you said, but right now, I'd totally agree with that. They are looking strong. They're resilient as well against strong opposition in Oxygen and Elevate. They're finding a way to grind out these wins, and that's the kind of resolution that you need at that top level. It's never about who's more skillful, because everyone at that top level on a global scene is that good, right? It's about who doesn't let those cheeky rounds go away. It's who can grind out some real tough wins. Rated R, they seem to be able to do that now, and that's a real good sign.
Yeah, they look very, very solid. But I think for Oxygen as well, they'll be happy with how they pushed it, but disappointed in the end result. It was a couple of, I want to say, misplays in the last map as well. A couple of sloppy mistakes, which maybe in time will be fixed. But it's very, very nice to have 3 teams at least at the top here and competing against each other, and the fact that they're going to go in against each other each week and we don't know which way it's going to go. It's a good time to be a fan of EU Gears. Fru, thank you very much for joining me once again, and thank you to the players for some fantastic games. Thank you to everybody who was in the chat chilling out this evening. Of course, we will be back live at 6 p.m. same day on a Monday at egl.tv/live for more EU Gears Pro League action. We've got 2 more weeks to go, and we'll see you for them in a bit.